how's it going, everybody? Back again in the garage, and gonna do some more work on the SR20. So I mentioned in the last video that I needed to figure out something for the turbo manifold. I was originally planning on using cutting up the header that I got with the two SR20 motors I bought, and then cutting up this as a VR6 like just cheap eBay header or whatever. I was gonna cut up that and use the rest of it, and just trying to make sure they made nice thick supports on it. But I don't really want to do that anymore after looking at how my 1.6 manifold I made with basically the same thickness piping was figured out. I don't really want to do that. I don't feel like having issues with it cracking left and right, so I was gonna try and maybe find one secondhand to buy or something, and I went with the something. So here is that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna figure out and we're gonna build the turbo manifold. So what I'm gonna go with is like a log style manifold. It's what you'll get like all the cast manifolds basically that you get, they're like log style, and that's what we're gonna go with. That's what a lot of people just do because it's pretty easy. So yeah, so what we're gonna do is I am gonna use, this is the flange that I got with that header that came with the two SR20 motors I got. I just cut all of the pipes off, and I'm gonna reuse that. The one thing is though, it had a spot for EGR, so you could see how much of a difference that is. There's about an 1/8 of an inch of a drop there. So I'm gonna have to fill that all in with weld and then grind it back down. So we'll see how that works out. And then as far as the piping I'm gonna be using, like I said, I didn't want to use thin piping like that I was originally planning on. So what I'm gonna go ahead and go with is these. These are Schedule 40, I believe, stainless steel butt weld fittings. You can see they come pre-ground with that chamfer or whatever the heck you want to call it there, so that they're already just perfect. You know, slap them right up and weld them. This was already, as you can see, cut up a little bit, and somebody had already played around with it a little bit. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and cut these little bit of welds off of here, grind it back down smooth, and go from there. And as you can see also, these two T pieces have been shortened. Yeah, this one's definitely been cut. That one's definitely been cut. And that's definitely been cut. This piece has not been modified. And this is also, as you can see, there's only 3 pieces here. So I went ahead and I ordered another one of these. And it's good to see that this has been uncut, because that'll just make that easy. I won't have to modify the other piece. But yeah, as like I said, you can see these are cut, so I'm gonna have to put some filler in the center there, and I'm gonna go ahead and use that bad boy. It's not stainless like these two pieces are, but it is Schedule 40. It's the same wall thickness, and it's the same diameter, 1.5 inches. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use that. I know that's not the ideal situation. Ideally you'd want to go ahead and use all stainless steel, but also ideally you'd want to TIG weld this, or at least use a MIG welder set up for stainless welding with stainless steel spool in it and argon. I'm not going to be using that. I'm just going to be using my trusty old MIG setup for just, you know, regular mild steel. Nothing special. It should work. Should work. It's not going to be any more ghetto than the manifold I had on the 1.6, and that lasted me a little while. So for the most part, I just need to get this thing on the road. It's been off for a while now, and it's kind of really starting to affect me a little bit here. So I need to get the car back on the road ASAP. So yeah, that's what we're gonna go with. I got all this stuff. I didn't have to put any money into it really. This came with the turbo stuff. My buddy helped me out with this. This I had lying around. I had to order one. It was like $6 for this fitting here, the other one that I had to order. And then I also ordered a T3 turbo flange. That was like $12, I think. And then I didn't order it yet, but I'm going to have to order a wastegate flange. I just didn't order it yet because I'm not exactly sure what wastegate I'm going to go with. I haven't bought it yet. I'm just really Not sure what I'm going to go with yet. I'm going to probably end up getting one secondhand, so it's basically going to be whatever I have the money for at the time, whatever I can find is what I'm going to be using. So that's why I didn't order the wastegate flange. But other than that, I know I'm going with the T3 Turbo, and it should be good to go. So first things first though, I think I'm going to go ahead and try and fill that gap in here. The method I'm going to try and use is, I got a piece of copper here, and I'm just basically going to hold it in there and try and fill the gap. The weld won't stick to the copper, so I'll be able to just pop it right off. So let's give it a shot. That's like one kind of real quick pass through there, and you can kind of see how it didn't really stick too much on the inside with the copper. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and finish welding that up, and then I guess I'll just show you guys the finished product. Alright, so I guess I'm actually not even gonna bother welding anymore on that. It's good enough to where I feel like once I put the pipe on there and weld it in, I'll be able to just fill it in the rest of the way then. But I did get it ground, not even ground down, I filed it. So yeah, I'll show you guys. If it'll focus. Yeah, but the main part was on the inside there. I just wanted to get more of a lip built up for it to meet up there. So now as you can see, when the pipe goes on there, there we go, it kind of fills right in. Okay, of course it's not focused. There we go. Now you can see once the pipe's on there, it kind of fills itself right in. So yeah, next thing I gotta do is cut these suckers apart and clean them up. So got all of these separated and cleaned up. And you can see what I'm going to go ahead and do here is obviously those ports are not round, so for where it goes on to the manifold, went ahead and put it in the put it in the bench vise and squished it flat a little bit. Took the hammer, squished it a little bit more flat, and just got that so it sits in there nice. Give you a little better shot here. Try to, at least. I only have 2 arms. So yeah, you can see I could actually squish that a little bit more, but yeah, you get the idea. It's it would be that's the one that I squished versus that if I didn't squish them down. So you get what I'm doing. Okay, back again. 12 seconds later. Got these 2 pieces just kind of resting in place. This one being cut actually made it the perfect length for this. So yeah, got that one squished out oval, kind of like that one was. Got that chamfer on there for the weld to sink into, and yeah, like I said, I feel like these 2 are good to go now. I maybe should trim that, but I think I'm just going to compensate with that piece. Yeah. Alright, so I got about as much done as I can do today without having the other fitting and having the flange for the wastegate, or not wastegate, flange for the turbo. But this is about what it's going to look like. I'm going to have to add a centerpiece in there. I know it's not centered with that at all, but that's not really going to bother me. So I'm going to have to cut a big hole in somewhere in here in the front for the turbo also. This piece isn't really on there, but there's another good shot at ovaling it out to fit in there. But yeah, I don't know, there's the welds. It's nothing too special, but it'll hold. It penetrated enough for me to feel like it'll hold. So it should be fine. It should be fine. Here you can see kind of the inside here. I might weld these on the inside too and then file them down, but we'll see about that. Shot through there. Shot through there. Yeah. And I got this flange about as flat as I'll get it. It was already pretty bent up from me taking it off and hammering it. But we'll see. I'm going to clamp it down again when I weld this side and see if once there's like a bunch of heat in it, I'm going to try and hammer it up and flatten it out some more. And then also I already planned on planing it a little bit more. I have this like flat piece with a bunch of sandpaper on it, so I can throw that on the bench, I'll throw some heavier grit sandpaper than what's on there, and just go back and forth with it until it's nice and flat. So that's gonna do it for now. I'll go ahead and wait on posting this until I get the other pieces in here, so I can just go ahead and finish out the whole manifold in one video. But I was bored, so I wanted to go ahead and work on something today. So yeah, I guess I'll see you guys in a couple days when my parts get shipped. Alright, haven't really been filming too much. Engine stuff makes me nervous, doing it for my first time. The few times I even broke out my phone to make a little Instagram clip, I just started getting nervous and messing things up. So, haven't really busted out the camera, but just to make a quick little update here, I'll throw into whatever the next video I make. You guys will see it at some point. But here's the head. Everything's fully pulled out. All the lifters are pulled out. Valves are out. Valve springs, retainers. I have the new valve stem seals popped in place. Kinetic valve stem seals. I cleaned out the head as best I could. It was definitely a lot gunkier and oiled up, more so than you see now. You could see my little, these are the brackets for my valve spring compressor tool I made. Flip the head over a little bit here, hold on. I got all of the valve seats lapped. The exhaust valves, like I maybe could have went and did a more thorough job and got them seated a little bit better, but some of them were pretty heavily pitted, so I don't know. I did it to the point where I feel like I'm happy. I feel like those are going to be seated nice now. You can see here's all the valves. All those nice and lapped. Got all the springs and retainers all cleaned up and freshy fresh. There's the rocker arms and the shims in there. I do have to replace this rocker arm here, and I'm gonna have to reshim it. But yeah, so just figured I would bust out the camera and do a little update. Oh yeah, here is all my lifters. I have those sitting upright in some oil so that those don't drain. I don't have to worry about bleeding them or nothing like that. I'm pretty sure that's a thing. I think I remember somebody telling me I have to do that at some point. I didn't like look up what the procedure is, but I remember that being a thing. I know those little cups that they sit them in the head had oil in them when I pulled them out, so I went ahead and set them in some oil. Basically, once I put the valve springs, valves and retainers, all and stuff back in that head, I have to pull this head apart. I gotta pull, well actually I have some spare rocker arms and shims from one of my other motors, so I could probably find a rocker arm in there that I could use. But I need to pull a lifter out of this guy, and I'm going to use the cams out of this motor because this is a high port, that's a low port. Those that don't know, you put high port intake cam in a low port head, and it's good for a couple horsepower. So that is the plan. Man. Bleeding the lifters and getting them ready to go back in the head. Never ends. Another random snippet. Don't know where this will make it in any video, but the wiring I was working on. Let's see how things are gonna go. And that's all the stuff I pulled out. Well, another really long day out here in the garage. Haven't really been recording a whole lot. I'm sorry, everybody, but I don't know, some stuff, life stuff came up, and I'm kind of on a deadline to finish this car now. So I've just been kind of getting to it. But here's my daily progress here. I got the other motor sat in here, and got the turbo manifold. It's halfway, 3/4 of the way done. I gotta finish welding the side pieces there, and then I still gotta factor in a wastegate. But that's about how the turbo's gonna sit. I think I gotta modify this radiator around a little bit because I don't like how close that is right there. But I just gotta cut the tab off the bottom, turn it a little bit, it'll be good. This is how I'm gonna run the downpipe now. It's really close to everything, but I think it's gonna work. I cut a big old hole down there, and basically it's gonna come through. It's not gonna route that way. I'm gonna route it back out the fender like it used to, but it's gonna kind of come down and then do a S out that way. I used to have it came up at an angle. I think it's just gonna come more or less straight out now in this setup. But yeah, I guess I am going to update a little bit. I think I said I wasn't going to update. Here's the little update. But that's about it for today. I'm going to finish up that downpipe setup, finish up the manifold tomorrow, and then that'll be out of the way. I won't have to build the turbo setup as far as mounting turbo and downpipe once I get the motor in, that motor, for the last time. So, made some good progress. Let's see what I could do tomorrow. Alright, another long day in the garage. Not too much work, further from what was done last night, but I finished the downpipe, and I'm pretty excited on that, if you can't tell by all the hand movements. So I'm just going to show you that, and then besides that, basically nothing else has gotten done. Still gotta basically just tear this all back down apart, finish welding the manifold. I might make the port for the wastegate, but not really sure yet because I don't have the wastegate I'm going to use just yet, so I might save that for later on down the road. But downpipe's made, so basically for now I'm basically ready to just tear this back apart for the last time and get ready to put that motor in it. So check this downpipe out. So I made, pretty sure I showed you guys this thing last night. Goes from the 5-bolt, whatever the heck you want to call this, flange here, off the turbo. It's like a 2.5, I don't know what size it really was actually, but it tapers up to that, which is 3-inch. Goes to this 3-inch V-band here, and then from there, it kind of has, I don't know, I love this little bend here. I just feel like that's a good, it's a good looking curve if you ask me. But it comes around here, curves to make some clearance for, I didn't want to melt this plug here. And then it's really tight over here, but I'm going to try and get maybe a little bit tighter of a bend for that. We'll see. But I'm not super worried. This heater wrap does a really good job of keeping the temps down as far as like close up like that. So I don't think I'll have too much of an issue with anything melting, but I wanted to make it, I don't want anything touching at the very least. But alright, so it comes out here, bends around that. I had to cut out this hole down here to fit it through here. Comes down through there and loops up to that. So it uses the same hole I had in my bumper before, but yeah, now it's a full 3-inch. Before I think it was, here's the old downpipe over here. This one was like a 3-inch off the turbo and then tapered down to a 2.5 out to the tip. So you can say I have basically the same angle of tip on that one as I do on this one. This one might be a little bit more severe actually, but yeah, I'm actually really happy with how this downpipe came out. Like really happy. So yeah, that'll probably be it. I feel like that's probably enough footage here to make one solid update video. I've made a lot of progress, at least since the last update, I know. So that's probably gonna do it for this one. Definitely stay tuned. There will be more progress happening soon on this thing. So just definitely stay tuned for that. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys next time.